Right, right. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. When you thought up this laughing liberally, have you guys done some sketching and some stage work in a more one-shot deal kind of basis
Yeah, we've
prior
actually.
to putting together a monthly thing?
Yeah, I mean we've been doing this for a while now. Actually, I know the two other guys who are the two other accountants of Homeland Security, Tim Grimes and James Davis. I've been doing comedy with them for a long time, and a while back. The accountants existed, and then we actually became okay. So Laughing Liberally is part of this giant nationwide organization called Living Liberally. And what
Huh.
Living Liberally is, I mean, pretty much every big city, pardon me, has a Living Liberally. It's like social clubs where people can kind of get engaged in politics in not a very stressful and kind of formal way. It's a way to kind of keep politics going in your day-to-day life. Like in Chicago, I also am in charge of. We have a Drinking Liberally, which
Oh yeah.
we meet twice
Right.
a month, and it's just like a cocktail hour. It's a way just to keep like people connected beyond that. And so we do Drinking Liberally, Laughing Liberally. I believe we're starting up a Screening Liberally, which will be like liberal and progressive films. I've heard there's rumblings that there's going to be one of them coming on in Chicago soon. But it's a great way to because people a while ago, like people think that politics shouldn't be part of your day-to-day life and day-to-day conversation. That's the whole politeness thing, where it's like you shouldn't talk about politics or religion.
Right.
I completely disagree. I
Sure.
think because I mean the government, when people talk about the government as this kind of evil thing on the hill, the people are the government, and that's something that people
Have
were
lost
taught.
sight of.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that we should be involved, and it should be something that's
that's-
part of our day-to-day lives.
That's a success story of the right-wing propaganda machine, basically, that folks have forgotten that they are the government.
Right.
Instead of, sitting over here and pointing to something that they imagine is the government. And you're right. And it's odd that the repetition of that phrase, we don't talk about religion or politics, I heard that as a youth. Now,
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
old enough and I've been in enough social situations where all we talk about is politics or
Exactly.
religion, or maybe some of the other taboo subjects that have come up since then, like maybe gay rights.
Right.
And so we should retire that phrase.
I agree. I think we should bury it.
I don't think the kids have heard it anyway. And
Yeah,
I mean, the newest kids.
hopefully now in like cities, but I imagine in rural areas
in
it's
more
still,
polite company.
in more polite company, it's still frowned upon.
Wow. Well, I'm really happy also to see that the No Exit is becoming a venue for some regular and reliable performance pieces. I know that Tuesday night there is a film showing there that's going to be packed. Thanks to it being written up yesterday in the Tribune and the organizing done by yet another Loyola student. They're showing Fresh, which is a movie about where your food comes from and where it doesn't come from, and it's supposed to be terrific. So both Tuesday night and Wednesday night are sort of kicking off repetitive scenarios that are going to be on our stage at the No Exit. And I think I'm really glad you're doing it for free.
Yeah, we're thrilled about it. And again, we're liberals, so we're trying to give it away for free. We don't believe in this capitalist. We want everybody to come. We want this
Be
place
careful
to be
with
packed.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to a point. So,
I have a business partner who is.
however, when you're there, buy food and drinks.
There you go.
That's how you support No Exit and the Heartland. Come there, drink a lot. There's booze. There's great food. Enjoy some dinner, some drinks.
So when you put up this show, is it more of does it have a nightclub sort of feel to it, or is it more like a Daily Show?
It's kind of a variety show sort of feel where we're going to have a bunch of different acts coming through, and the acts are going to change every single month. We'll have different comics coming through. There'll be we'll show some. I actually make my day job. I actually make political animations. We'll be screening some of those throughout it as well.
Oh, now wait a minute. Tell me about that. What's with the animation on a
actually-
screen?
Yeah, we'll bring a projector and we'll be showing them on the screen there. So
I just saw that movie Up last week.
I saw it too. Wasn't it great?
I loved it.
It was wonderful.
And the Ed Asner guy was terrific.
He reminded me of my grandpa, actually.
I mean, the animation of that was stellar.
Oh no, it's good. Literally, Pixar has not made like a bad film yet. The people who do it are just phenomenal. My animation's a lot more low key than that because I actually make a daily political animation that are about 30 seconds long.
Really?
Yeah. I work for a company called I'm part of a company called Heads Up. Which we make, again, daily political satire. And you can find that on actually headsup.tv.
Is that with a Z?
With a Z, HEADZUP.TV. Where you can find, actually, I know you guys are having a Vita still down at No Exit.
Tonight's the last night
Tonight's
for
the
a
last
Vita.
night. Oh, okay. So one of my last cartoons I did this week, you heard about Mark Sanford's whole fiasco.
Oh, what another lovely story of a Bible pounding Republican.
Also one of the main people who was behind Clinton, pushing for Clinton's impeachment.
Right, for his dastardly deeds.
Exactly. But so obviously he lied and was spending time down in Argentina. One of my last cartoons I just put up was actually
Don't cry for me, Argentina.
Mine was actually Mark Sanford singing "Don't Cry for Me, Right Wing Media." we'll show that this Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
So if people want to see that for free, you can see it on the web, but also you can come see it live in person.
I love it.
Yeah.
You also do, you're a bit of a blogger.
I'm also a blogger, yes.
And I know that part of your resume, or I guess that's not the right word for it, but includes writing for The Nation.
I've done
or is it
post
blogging?
I've done some blogging on The Nation. I blog for Huffington Post.
Huffington Post was the other one I was going to mention.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Just if I can ask you, because we do have a couple minutes,
Sure.
How do beginner bloggers who really want to get to the bottom, to get to the truth on, say, a political issue, maybe since we're covering that, the don't ask, don't tell debate, or anything related to human rights for gays in this country, how can you tell how can you tell right wing or left wing, for that matter, really overly vitriolic blogging from information packed and sort of giving you the straight story, not to use that word straight
right
incorrectly, but giving you the real story, as it were, without all the animation or vitriol, either one.
Right. I mean, I think what people kind of need to understand about the blogosphere is that it spawned as a response mostly from the failure of the traditional mainstream media.
Right.
I mean, if you look at, just say, the big example, the Iraq War, how
Sure.
the mainstream media just let the lies happen and didn't question and
right.
just smart. The blogosphere was spawned because there were enough people out there that knew what was going on was wrong, but we were not hearing our voices on television, on the radio, in the New York Times. I mean, the New York Times editorial board was all for the Iraq War. I mean, same Washington Post, all these, supposedly, traditional serious media folk were just completely just beating the drums, beating the drums of war. And so the blogosphere spawned out of a need of that initially, and still today, because, I mean, while there are there are good media voices out there that are traditional media, it's the media was supposed to be a watchdog, and they blew it, and until this day, for the most part, continue to blow it. And so the blogosphere, a lot of it serves as a watchdog on the media. I mean, if you look at, say the stuff that happened in Iran the last couple of weeks.
Right.
If you look, for the most part, for the first few days, cable news was just pretty much ignoring it. I mean, they'd mention it, but like if you really wanted good, actually the Huffington Post, Nico Pitney's reporting on Iran is the best reporting you're going to find anywhere. I mean, it was his. I mean, it was amazing. And again, CNN wasn't doing it. MSNBC, Fox obviously wasn't doing it.